more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one.
Blech. Hello everyone and welcome back to 4pixels. Kimi and Kokori here with Buttons and Layfully. We are continuing the letter.
Yay!
But it'll be a complete lie if I say I'm not waiting for some intervention. Something to pull me away from this place. Someone.
A ghost?
Ghost is fine, she'll deal with the ghost. Ashton's probably at Salemwell by this time, working on whatever business he has there. Maybe if I make up an excuse and leave now, I can still catch him.
Cut that out, it's distracting.
My hand stills, holding the gadget awkwardly between us, arrested mid-pass by his bored tone. He's been quiet for a long minute now, after complaining about how appalling the tea they're serving here is. Before that, he has whined about how uncomfortable his chair is and tasteless the decorations they have here. Previous to that, he griped about how dull the place is compared to the one he frequents on the upper-class side of the city. Well, I'm sorry for being a bunch of peasants, Your Majesty. Figures he'll lose patience soon, having already grumbled out almost everything his eyes can reach. It's just unfortunate he's turned to me now.
Why don't you just look somewhere else?
I can't. If I turn elsewhere, I might end up looking at the bobfuck right behind us.
What is that?
He looks ill.
What?
What's a bobfuck?
I have no idea. It's an English word. And I don't mean American English.
Alright, I'll look it up later.
Bob fuck.
Apparently Rebecca doesn't know
Do
either.
I even want to ask?
I don't want to hear it.
So it's a completely made-up word is what they're saying. It's just Luke trying to make insulting words up. Great.
Nah, I'm really curious now. Let's see.
Let's ask Google.
Yes. What? All right. I'm just finding things on Urban Dictionary. I'm pretty sure it's
Definition
not the
for
case.
Bob. Hold on. Definition for Bobfuck. Bobfuck means body off Baywatch, face off Crime Watch.
Yeah, that's what I found.
What?
It's a derogatory way to refer to a person, probably a woman. Like saying they
Yeah.
have a very nice body, but then a very ugly face.
Yeah.
Ah.
So essentially, he's just being a sexist prick. Assuming
So-
that's what's actually being referred to, which I don't think is. I don't know.
So, per the norm for Luke.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
If it's coming out of his mouth, it can only be either rude or offensive. Probably both.
I was just about to say.
Regardless, he continues.
Everything looks good. But
Oh.
have you seen the face?
Oh, looks like it is.
That's exactly what it means.
True horror.
What is wrong with you? You know, I frown about this in practice, but that mouth needs to be washed out with a particularly potent soap,
God, he's looking iller by the second.
preferably by your own mum.
Uh-oh. I feel we might have hit a bad button here.
Wow.
A shame she isn't here. Hmm?
For whatever reason, that puts an end to the talk right away. He returns to watching his godchild, who has found a particularly interesting picture book and is now poring over it, while I turn back to my mobile. Still no message. Would it kill him to at least send a message? Check if I were home? Meanwhile,
Probably.
yeah. Meanwhile, Luke's silence lasts all but 10 seconds.
What is it with the damn mobile? Are you on a curfew?
He's got the immature acts down pat, I'll give him that. Seriously, how old is this guy? Has he somehow been deprived of affection during childhood? Probably. What was that noise?
And what is it to you? I don't think it's any of your business what I do with it.
It is my business, all right? 1, I'm the one paying here. 2, I'm being forced to eat dinner in a place this stuffed and noisy. Lastly, it's been 10 minutes, the food isn't here, and I'm hungry.
10 minutes?
Oh no.
Oh, what a disaster.
What you're doing with the mobile is annoying and distracting, when the least you could do is keep things entertaining while I suffer.
That's your.
Ugh.
Shouldn't you be more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one.
What?
You move fast, Daisy. You could have informed me first, you know.
Here's a way you can inform him. Toss him out the window.
Had I known, I would have taken you someplace nicer.
No, like your bedroom? Is that what you're trying to say?
His
Ugh.
standards are not high.
Of food and plenty of good wine.
Are you trying to infer that Marianne wasn't a good catch?
Did you see that wheat ass bullshit on her wall? Come on now.
I will take that personally.
Do you feel personally attacked, Kime?
Yes.
Why did I ever think this was a good idea? Did it ever occur to you how inappropriate this might look
Luke
to
is a
everyone?
Naruto LARPer, confirmed.
Oh god! You're not bringing that back. Nope. I banned.
Wait, what? What?
Banned!
Button is banned.
Why should I care? It's only inappropriate if you make it out to be. Relax. I won't do anything to make your boyfriend angry. He doesn't even need to know we dined out. It'll be our dirty little secret.
My boyfriend!
The words come out with more force than I've intended. By the time I realize my slip up, his lips are already spread into a sneer. Heat slowly crawls up in my face.
Oh, so there is someone. You're so easy to read.
Briefly, his eyes search my face. I have no idea what he sees, nor do I care to know, but in the next second he barks out a laugh, displaying his amusement without reserve to everyone within earshot. In that moment, I know I've flipped a switch in him somewhere and I've lost my chance to deny his assumptions. Do I even want to? Isn't that the reason why I've been so focused on my mobile, waiting for another message for him? For a reason to dump this awkward meeting to go after him.
Look how mottled you are. Now the nickname makes more sense. Shy Miss Pink and her cute little crush. The color suits you, by the way. It matches the hair.
It's not a crush!
Classic denial. But in reality, you want him to be yours, and your every move is made to make him notice you. In fact, you don't want him to see you with another man in a non-professional capacity, because he might misinterpret it.
The same thing goes for you, doesn't it? Bloody, yours is even worse. What about your wife? Aren't you concerned she might misinterpret this?
Daisy, just because we tied the knot doesn't mean we have to be joined at the hip at every single opportunity.
Don't be ridiculous. Why else would you marry her if you don't want to be with her for the rest of your lives?
Because, Daisy, she also has other things she can do with her life and friends to spend time with.
He's not wrong, but don't act like you don't cheat.
She's hitting sore spots.
Granted, I don't like some of them, and I have a few of my own she utterly dislikes. But wifey doesn't have to know my every move. Nor do I hers. Do you know how boring that would be? To be with the same person for all hours of the day, losing sleep over the mere fact they're not with you? Or putting everything you have aside to please them, to have your whole world revolve around one person?
Aren't you just mistaking that for something else? Unlike you, there are other people here who don't share the same jaded outlook you have. Don't lump everyone together just because it didn't work out for you.
Ouch.
Wow.
And you, my dear, are unexpectedly naive.
What's so naive about it? If you love each other, wouldn't you want to always see them, be with them, to have them focus solely on you?
This is coming because of that lack of parental affection.
Maybe you haven't been loved enough.
Oh, it's that kind of thing for you, isn't it? The love is eternal, love is a strong emotion shite. A starry-eyed girl pining for a dashing Prince Charming? What's next? Romantic confessions of love? A grand wedding on the beach? Dozens of spawns running around in some picturesque home in the suburbs? How quaint. Are you also expecting it's going to be sunshine and rainbows after? A happily ever after? Please.
What? I never once said... And is all of that such a bad thing to hope for?
Woman, I've been married for 7 years, and I'm telling you, it's far from what you have in your pretty red head. Tell me, how long has this song and dance been going for you and your man? Maybe I am mistaken.
Averting my eyes from him is all I manage to do. What does his mere 7 years have compared to the 17 I've had with Ash? It's laughable he thinks those two things are ever comparable. Ash and I may never have moved past the boundaries of friendship, like what I'm hoping for years, but what we have isn't something anyone can scoff at. I've always been by his side, endured everything with him. I know him better than anyone. No matter what this man, this complete stranger says, I know there will always be a place for me beside him. And yet...
Come on, Daisy, that shouldn't be too hard. 3, 5, 8, 10, 20.
His words easily seep into my heart like sharp daggers, gradually picking apart everything I've ever been sure of. Despite myself, the doubts resurface and my defenses crumble right in front of my eyes. It's no wonder he sees through me, and as expected, he ridicules it. Laughs. Restrained, low, and rumbling, a sharp sound striking the air around us, amidst the murmur of people and the soft notes of the music playing over our heads. His shoulders shake, and when his mirth becomes too much even for me, he reaches up a hand and passes it over his face, as if to hold his glee close to him.
Lordy bullocks, this is just brilliant. Oh, mother, why do I always keep running into these things? This day couldn't get any better.
Is that the first time he's like made that sort of exclamation?
I think.
I think so.
I don't
Yeah, I
remember
think
seeing
so.
it before.
But just from
We need to take a
context,
drink after this.
I think it's more close to like the exclamation Mother Mary.
Gotcha. He dissolves into another peal of laughter, but when it subsides, what he has for me are more words. Scathing, each of them. The urge to run from here has never been this strong.
Is everything you said how you plan to act, if that man of yours ever ends up with you? Cling to him? Put him on a bloody pedestal? Let him become the center of your universe? Although with how long this seems to be going on, I think you've already done so. Marriage will just be icing on the top. Like some sort of reward for you, isn't it? For being a good, patient, loyal little girl all this time, never looking at another man. You must have been having a grand time with someone pining over him this long. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Maybe also a little surprised he hasn't suffocated from all your attention yet.
Laugh all about it if you want. It's not like you'll ever understand.
Luke falls silent. The ridicule in him is gone in an instant, and his eyes meet mine, sharp and imposing. A challenge, but I hold it against him with the same intensity. Because if there's something I won't let his opinion trample on, it's this. What does he know? However, he's the first one who looks away, focusing his eyes back to where Kylie is, and for a moment I believe I've won. Until he draws in a breath and turns back to me. The words he drops next, though hushed, hang heavily in the distance between us.
You're right. I won't. But I do know not to mistake love for obsession, woman. They are not the same thing.
It rattles. Out of everything he said tonight, this is the one thing that twinges my heart. Maybe it's in the manner he delivers it, the lack of conceit in his posture, or an underlying insult in the tone he takes. The remark is not meant to cut, merely to express a simple truth. This time, it's him who holds the gaze against mine. Another unspoken challenge, and I realize that, if this much happened minutes before, I'd already have an equally searing retort at the tip of my tongue. There's none. But the anger is there, ringing at my insides, prodding at the uncertainties I've longed kept. Isn't it enough? We have the long years we've been together. We have the memories. Whenever he needs me, until other people came in between us, I've always been the one there. That dedication and loyalty should mean something, shouldn't it? I've always been sure of it, and that one day, he'll see it for what it is. In spite of that, in this minute, under this man's scrutiny, my own heart wavers. Now I struggle to find the words. You don't need to answer that. What right do you have?
I don't need to answer that.
My concern with the latter is that it seems like the angrier option.
Which one? This one?
The latter, yeah.
Yeah.
And if she gets angry, then Luke wins.
Yeah.
That said, fuck him.
With that said,
I feel like I don't need to answer that as the better option, but that's me.
I like the top one. of the two the best.
Okay, and that's...
What the
Are you
actual
serious?
fuck?
Stop it!
Oh boy.
Ah!
However,
Ah!
those are for me to ponder on. This arse doesn't need to hear them. Neither is he entitled to them just because he dished out some profound-sounding life wisdom that no one asked for. So I look away, hoping my own silence would be enough of an answer for him. I like how we were like actively trying to raise Miriam and Hana's relationship, and we kept messing that up, and then this one just keeps going up.
Even though we don't want it to? Yep.
That's great. So I look away, hoping my own silence would be enough of an answer for him. And it is, for a moment. Up until warm, furious tears prickle my eyes, stinging, begging for release, along with every other frustration this dumb talk has built up in me. All because of this man. I hate him. I hate the fact that he has to be the one to see me in this sorry state. I'm already expecting another barb from him when his expression shifts. Except he panics. In the span of 3 seconds, his expression changes from indifferent to concerned to utter panic. It would probably have been funny if I weren't so irked by the sight of that word, bastard.
Hey, are you crying? Are you going to cry? Stop that right now, woman.
He's blushing! No! Get out!
Oh god, I'm gonna start laughing so hard I'm choking.
Get out!
Will you shut up?
He clams up almost before I could finish.
Just slam the tea in his face or something. Just do something. Ah! Ah!
Whether this is due to the sudden force in my voice or how I look, I pretend not to think of it. He seems like a deer caught in the headlights with way he's making himself smaller in his seat. I've been noticing a lot more typos the farther into the game we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still pissed. I'm tired, and if I can't punch him, I can at least scream at him.
Yes,
You're an
do.
annoying bag of dick, you know that?
Annoying bag of dick.
If I hear another word from you, I'm sewing that bloody mouth shut myself.
It does.
I'll help.
It does do the trick. Not to the effect I've hoped, but the moment I've snapped at him, the sting at the back of my eyes melts away, and a strange calm overcomes me. A fragile thing when found in the middle of a busy coffee shop. Nevertheless, it's appreciated considering it doesn't last, immediately broken by the very person that put me in this state with a few awkward pats to my shoulder.
Listen. I am all for getting Rebecca killed at this point. It's a much better option than having her be with Luke. I swear to God. Please kill her. We cannot let her end up with Luke at all. Death is a better fate.
But if Rebecca ends up with Luke, then
No.
we can still have redemption Marianne and Hannah. I'm just saying.
Listen, how about they just both die? That makes everything work better.
Sorry, why to kill everyone? Spoiler
No,
alert.
let's just kill Luke. We don't have to kill Becca, we just have to kill Luke.
Let's just kill everyone.
How did they fuck up this playthrough so hard?
Alright, everyone,
Let's kill everyone but Zach.
we're
This is the end, guys.
doing a restart and we're going to kill everyone but Zach. Run.
Exactly.
The best run.
Only cinnamon rolls here.
Thrice. And another. Until my patience runs out again and I'm pulling out the book from my bag.
Yes!
Raising it threateningly over his head. It'll surely dent his skull if it slams down at this height.
Do it.
Part of me wants to see that, but I restrain myself.
No!
He has the good sense to recoil, though. Shortly, he shrinks back to his seat and waves his hand in front of me in a gesture of surrender.
Watch that book, woman! I already warned you about your little threats. You don't want to see my brand of angry!
Then keep your hands to yourself!
Alright, that's it. People these days, I swear you treat them nicely and this is where it gets me.
You're the last person I'd ever want to comfort me, even if we're the only two remaining people on Earth. Don't flatter yourself.
Okay, have it your way, Daisy.
And stop calling me Daisy! I have a name, you know!
He mutters something inaudible under his breath, although afterwards he doesn't say anything further. For the next minute he simply contents himself with making a mess out of the paper napkins, folding them into clean shapes without any clear intent before crumpling them in his hand when he loses interest and dumping them in a small pile in front of him. A waiter serves our meal soon enough, and Kylie makes her way back to our table. But before I can take a single bite, he mutters something. The words spoken in the same tone he's used since morning, all under his breath, whenever the honest part of himself would show. Despite my rather confusing opinion of the man, I stop short of shoving food in my mouth to look at him. His eyes are on his food as he speaks, busying himself with cutting a portion of meat on his plate. But what comes out of him only rings true against my ears, above the din of the coffee house.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you. Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
He spears a piece of food, pops it into his mouth, and that's it. One whole day with this man, I still can't figure out what his deal is. But for what it's worth, as well, I don't think he's an entirely bad guy.
We're 67 parts into this fucking thing and we don't know what his deal is.
The rest of our meals slip by in silence afterwards. Aside from Kylie's occasional chatter, the whole dinner goes by without another word exchanged between the two of us. Somehow, we manage to make it through the whole thing without triggering another tension-riddled conversation. A good thing, perhaps. One, because Kylie's sitting in front of us, and two, I probably won't be able to hold a proper conversation with my mind heavy with thoughts. We depart from the coffee house just as the evening crowd starts to thin out. And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye!
So he crashed and burned. What?
He's a genius. Wait, what did I just say? No, he isn't. He crashed and burned. Hello everyone and welcome back. Coco here with Frosh, the Devil's Avocado, and Shades the Ninja, and we are continuing Ace Attorney.
I have no idea what's happening.